What if everything you were taught about human history was only half the story? Imagine a civilization so ancient that its knowledge rivals our own. A people who mapped the heavens, calculated complex mathematics, and recorded events that science still struggles to explain. These were the Sumerians, the world's first known civilization, and hidden within their thousands of clay tablets lies a secret that could rewrite the origins of humanity itself. Carved in mysterious cuneiform symbols, the tablets speak of gods who descended from the sky, of advanced sciences that should not have existed, and of a human story that challenges every history book we've ever read. Were these myths, or memories of something real? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover in the Sumerian tablets may forever change the way you see our past and our future. Long before the pyramids of Egypt rose against the desert skies, and centuries before Greece and Rome shaped the Western world, there was Sumer, the cradle of civilization. Nestled in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the Sumerians created writing, built cities, and laid the foundation of law and culture. But what makes them extraordinary is not just their innovations. It is what they left behind. Thousands of clay tablets, carefully inscribed with cuneiform writing, tell stories and record knowledge that seems impossible for their time. They speak of astronomy with stunning accuracy, of mathematics that guided commerce and architecture, and of myths that sound less like legends and more like history waiting to be decoded. These tablets are more than artifacts. They are keys. Keys that unlock a past far stranger, deeper, and more advanced than we were ever taught. And once opened, they force us to ask, did the Sumerians truly invent civilization, or inherit it from something far greater? The discovery of the tablets. The story of the Sumerian tablets begins not in ancient times, but in the 19th century, when European explorers and archaeologists set foot in the dusty ruins of Mesopotamia. What they found buried beneath layers of sand and time was astonishing. Broken walls of forgotten cities, collapsed temples, and beneath them thousands upon thousands of clay tablets, each one inscribed with tiny wedge-shaped marks, the mysterious writing we now call cuneiform. At first, these tablets were seen simply as relics of an early civilization, curious but not earth-shattering. But as linguists began to crack the code of cuneiform, something incredible happened. The tablets began to speak. They spoke of trade, of farming, of kings who ruled for centuries, and of myth that blurred the line between history and legend. Some tablets even contained the world's first schools, recording lessons in mathematics and language. Others revealed the earliest laws, setting rules that would echo in societies thousands of years later. Yet the most striking discovery was not their quantity or age, but their depth. These tablets contained over 500,000 lines of text, covering everything from astronomy and medicine to epic tales like the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known works of literature. Archaeologists quickly realized they were not just unearthing the history of a single people, but uncovering the blueprint of civilization itself. Here lay the origins of writing, governance, religion, and science. But hidden among these clay fragments were details so advanced, so puzzling, that they left scholars divided. How could a civilization from over 5,000 years ago describe the movements of planets, the creation of humanity, or the visits of beings from the sky with such confidence? The forgotten knowledge as scholars pieced together the Sumerian tablets. They began to realize something extraordinary. These were not the simple records of an early farming people. Hidden within the clay were glimpses of knowledge that seemed far too advanced for a civilization so ancient. The tablets described mathematics with a precision that stunned researchers. The Sumerians used a base 60 number system, which still shapes our world today in the 60 seconds of a minute and the 360 degrees of a circle. They created calendars to track seasons, developed geometry to measure land, and even calculated the movement of celestial bodies with uncanny accuracy. But it was their astronomy that shook conventional thinking. The tablets referenced planets we only confirmed with modern telescopes thousands of years later. They described Jupiter with its swirling storms, Saturn encircled by rings, and even spoke of a mysterious celestial body they called Nibiru, a planet of the crossing, that some claim visits our solar system in long cycles. How could people who lived over 5,000 years ago know this? Mainstream historians dismiss it as myth or coincidence, yet the detail preserved in these texts is difficult to ignore. It was as if the Sumerians possessed a cosmic library of knowledge far beyond their age. The tablets also revealed practical sciences. They recorded medical practices, lists of plants with healing properties, and procedures for brewing medicines. They detailed engineering methods that allowed them to drain marshes, build canals, and feed entire cities. This wasn't just survival. It was organized civilization on a scale the world had never seen before. For many researchers, this raised an unsettling possibility. Either the Sumerians developed advanced knowledge entirely on their own, or they inherited it from a source we cannot explain. And this is where the tablets take an even stranger turn. Beyond farming and science, they spoke of beings who came from the sky, who gave humanity its knowledge, and who shaped the destiny of mankind itself. The gods who came from the sky, among the most astonishing revelations of the Sumerian tablets, are the stories of their gods, the Anunnaki. Unlike the distant, abstract gods of later religions, the Anunnaki were described in vivid, human-like detail. They walked among men, ruled over cities, and passed down knowledge. But the most striking claim was this: the Sumerians believed these beings came not from Earth, but from the heavens. According to the tablets, the Anunnaki were powerful figures who descended to Mesopotamia to establish order and teach humanity the arts of civilization. They were credited with giving writing, agriculture, and law. They divided the earth among themselves, ruling over regions and peoples. To the Sumerians, these were not myths. They were living presences woven into daily life. The descriptions are eerily specific. The Anunnaki are said to have used heavenly chariots that blazed like fire across the skies. They were depicted wearing elaborate garments and carrying strange tools that symbolized their authority. Some tablets even suggest that the Anunnaki interfered directly in human development, creating and shaping mankind to serve them. For ancient storytellers, such accounts could have been allegories. But when compared with myths from Egypt, India, the Americas, and even the Bible, a pattern emerges: beings from the heavens descending to earth, teaching humanity, then vanishing. Was this merely cultural imagination? Or was it a shared memory of encounters with something real? Modern researchers remain divided. Mainstream scholars view the Anunnaki as mythological archetypes, expressions of human hopes and fears. Yet others see the precision of these accounts as evidence of something more, perhaps an ancient encounter with advanced beings whose influence echoed across civilizations. Whatever the truth, the tablets leave us with a haunting possibility. What if humanity's first leap into civilization was not entirely our own doing, but the result of guidance from those who came from beyond, the human connection? If the Anunnaki truly came from the skies, their most lasting legacy was not just the gift of knowledge, it was humanity itself. Among the most controversial of the Sumerian tablets are those that describe how humans were created, not as a random accident of nature, but as part of a deliberate act. One tablet tells the tale of a time when the gods needed labor to mine and manage the earth. Instead of toiling themselves, they decided to fashion a new being. They mixed the essence of the gods with the body of a creature already on earth, creating the first humans. In Sumerian myths, this was not metaphor. It was a direct explanation of why humanity exists. The texts describe a prototype phase, where earlier beings were imperfect until a final version, humans as we know them, emerged. What is striking is how this mirrors the modern concept of genetic engineering, though it was written thousands of years ago. The tablets speak of a god named Enki, who played a central role in shaping mankind, balancing divine essence with earthly material. This narrative does not stand alone. Across the world, creation myths echo a similar theme: gods forming humans from clay, breath, or divine blood. In the Bible, Adam is shaped from the dust of the ground. In Egyptian tradition, Khnum molds humans on a potter's wheel. Could these be cultural memories of a single ancient truth? For the Sumerians, the human connection to the gods was not just spiritual, it was biological. They saw themselves as children of the Anunnaki, created with purpose, bound to serve but also destined to inherit knowledge. If this interpretation holds even a fragment of truth, then our understanding of human origins shifts entirely. We are not just products of evolution and chance, but perhaps a hybrid legacy, a fusion of earth and sky. The suppressed history. If the Sumerian tablets hold such extraordinary knowledge, then why are they not at the center of every history book? Why are students taught a simplified version of humanity's beginnings, while these ancient records are treated as mere myth? The truth is unsettling. For decades, many scholars have dismissed the more controversial translations as exaggerations, preferring to label the Anunnaki stories as primitive mythology. Universities highlight the Sumerians' achievements in writing and agriculture but avoid the more challenging questions about their astronomical precision or claims of human creation. Some argue this is because mainstream science fears anything that does not fit the accepted evolutionary model. Others believe powerful institutions have reasons to keep humanity from questioning its origins too deeply. After all, if the tablets are correct, then human history is not only older but also stranger, shaped by forces we can barely comprehend. And so, much of this knowledge remains confined to dusty archives and specialist circles. Yet the tablets continue to whisper, challenging us to see beyond the narrow boundaries of approved history. Conclusion: the Sumerian tablets are not just fragments of clay, they are fragments of truth, scattered across time, daring us to look deeper. They tell of a people who rose suddenly from obscurity, who built cities and systems with impossible speed, and who left behind records that challenge everything we think we know about our past. From their advanced mathematics to their detailed astronomy, from their accounts of gods who descended from the heavens to their bold explanation of human creation, the tablets refuse to be silent. Whether we interpret them as myth, history, or a mixture of both, one fact remains: they carry knowledge that does not fit neatly into the story we are told. Perhaps that is why they are overlooked, because to accept them fully would mean rewriting human history, questioning our origins, and confronting possibilities we are not prepared to face. But the truth cannot be buried forever. One day, the voices etched into those tablets will be heard, and when that happens, humanity may finally realize that our story began not just on Earth, but in the stars.